Well, fresh from her coronation as Miss Universe Philippines 2026, Bea Windorski of La Union is now preparing to represent the country at the Miss Universe pageant in Puerto Rico. And what do you know? She joins us this morning to talk about her win, her advocacy, and her mission to bring home the Philippines' 5th Miss Universe crown. Bea, congratulations, good morning, and welcome to the program.
Maraming salamat po. Thank you so much for having me. This is our second appearance, so it still feels very fresh, and I'm so happy to be here with you.
Of course, I have to ask you, did it already sink in for you that you are Miss Universe Philippines 2026?
Not really. It still feels like I'm dreaming because as a little girl, I never really felt like I fit in, and to finally achieve something like winning Miss Universe Philippines, I feel like I'm making younger Bea really proud right now.
Oh my gosh, that's really inspiring to hear. But Bea, walk us through that winning moment. So they called La Union, but it seems like it didn't sink in for you that you won Miss Universe Philippines.
I'm very much a perfectionist, and I was just kind of dissociating, thinking about all of the things that I could have done better.
Okay.
So I was kind of expecting someone else to be called. I always kind of think that way. So then when Miss Pampanga Allison kind of tapped my shoulder and was like, "No, Bea, it's you, go up." That's when I finally realized. And I'm just so happy that I had the opportunity to share that moment with 6 other amazing women who really inspire me.
Let's talk about that. You said you weren't really happy with your performance. If there's something you could have improved, what would that be?
For me, it's just, I always believe there's room for improvement. I am proudly the daughter of a Tiger mom who made sure I really practiced cello growing up, that I had straight A's. So the fact that there's always room for improvement is mostly what I was focusing on.
Okay, so the great thing about you, Bea, is you have a very unique journey. You grew up in a non-diverse environment in the United States. How did that shape your identity as a Filipina?
I would say that being Filipina has really been the North Star of who I am, because growing up in a place where I didn't feel like I belonged, I always felt a sense of belonging and home whenever I'd come back to the Philippines, spending time with my family, with my friends here. And I also studied Philippine studies, Southeast Asian studies all throughout university because I really wanted to make that effort to reconnect with my heritage. And when I moved back to the Philippines, it was always in service of others. So I first had a consultancy job with a nonprofit firm that worked with various nonprofits around the Philippines. And I'm excited to really be a public servant more than a beauty queen, to use this opportunity to promote several advocacies that I'm really passionate about.
So you always made sure to stay in touch with your roots as a Filipino. But another unique thing about Bea here is that you've competed internationally before already. You've won Miss Earth USA. But how did you prepare differently for Miss Universe?
This journey has been so special to me because when I was competing as Miss Earth USA, it was really just me representing where I'm from. It was just representing a place. But now that I'm competing on behalf of the Philippines, and when I was representing La Union, it felt like I was really representing my core, who I am, my family values. And the fact that I could represent my family and my roots nationally and now internationally really is the difference and what drives me forward.
And when you signified your intention to join Miss Universe Philippines, a lot of analysts immediately said that you were going to be the front runner here. How did you handle the pressure?
I believe that pressure is a privilege, and it really drove me to be the best version of myself, because when expectations are set high, you are also driven to try and surpass that bar. And I would also say that competing in Miss Universe Philippines, you're really competing with the best of the best. I believe that steel sharpens steel, and being surrounded by so many incredible women really pushed me to be the best version of myself. So I would say that's what really ensured that I was on my best behavior all the time.
And you've been in the public eye for quite some time already, Bea, but how do you handle criticism?
I really try to take all criticism, not to heart, but I also listen, because there's always room for improvement and you can apply it into different aspects of your life. As a perfectionist, anything a critic says, I've already thought of myself. So I really take it in stride, and it's a reflection of how passionate the Filipino people are about pageantry. They really just want the best representative internationally and to make sure that we make our country proud.
And looking back, would you say there's any tough comment or maybe a challenge that actually helped you to become better and stronger?
There's been a lot of criticism about my chin because it is quite prominent, and
it's beautiful.
Thank you. But it made me realize that I have to accept myself and what makes me unique, and not necessarily listen to the things that I can't change about myself. And I would rather carry this chin that's the same as my lola, the same as my mom, and carry their stories rather than fit a perfect mold of what beauty is for others.
All right, now let's talk about your advocacies, Bea. I like what you said earlier, that before you consider yourself a beauty queen, you're a public servant first. Now, of course, you represent La Union, and one of your advocacies is disaster resilience. What drew you to this cause?
In the Philippines, we have really seen firsthand the impacts of climate change through intensified natural disasters. The fact that we have so many typhoons, the fact that the rains cause so much flooding here. And what's necessary is that we not only respond to disasters, but we address the root cause. Manila is actually the chair of the Loss and Damages Fund through the United Nations. So it's really important that we leverage this position of leadership to ensure that our funds are going to the correct places, to ensure that in the event that there is a disaster, relief is properly distributed. And one of the projects that I'm most proud of was working hand in hand with Project Korma in La Union right after Typhoon Among to distribute relief like rice, aid packages across the province, especially to the most underserved communities.
Amazing. Okay, I also wanted to go back to your winning answer during the Q&A, Bea. You emphasized how you believe in the limitless potential of Filipinos. What does that mean to you in today's context?
To me, it means that I marched hand in hand with so many Filipinos across different sectors, from religious institutions to students, and I saw that people are passionate about making our country better. They're passionate about addressing the root causes of what causes so much poverty, what causes so much inequality here in the Philippines. And the fact that there's so much passion and belief still, despite all of the issues our country has gone through, is proof that we do have the potential, we do have the talent and courage to work hand in hand for a brighter, greener, and more equitable future.
This can already be a Q&A segment in itself. You're killing it, Bea. But so you're headed to Puerto Rico in November for the Miss Universe pageant. How do you plan to stand out?
I plan to stand out by staying true to myself. Throughout this whole journey, I have had a lot of feedback on, oh, maybe hold back a bit, maybe be a bit more queenly. But I'm a very overeager person. I'm always the first to dance, the first to cheer and clap. And that's what's really helped me connect with others, really what made me feel like I'm coming home. So I'm ready to bring that energy to Puerto Rico and maybe even teach my co-delegates at Miss Universe some budots.
Budots! Oh my gosh, maybe you can incorporate that in your pasarela in a sophisticated way. But speaking of your pasarela, every beauty queen is of course known for their signature walk. Do you already have one in mind for yours?
Well, of course, I went viral for the Liad.
Yes.
And it's so funny because that was an accident. At Aqua Boracay, it was meant to be a much more subtle move, but the energy was so high that I really just overextended myself. And I'm working hard with my trainer, Coach Ian, to make sure we can fine-tune that and bring our best to Puerto Rico.
All right, and finally, Bea, many Filipinos are hoping for a 5th Miss Universe crown. What is your message to all our kababayans?
My message to all our kababayans is that even outside of pageantry, us Filipinos deserve better, and we deserve to lead by example. So by gaining the Miss Universe Philippines crown, I promise to hold myself to the standard that we should hold our public servants and elected officials to. And I hope that I could serve as a model for our future leaders, that we really have to be advocacy and people-driven first.
All right, very well said. Thank you very much for speaking to us this morning. Of course, the newly crowned Miss Universe Philippines 2026, Bea Windorski.
Maraming salamat po for having me.
Thank you, Bea.